And we're back. I don't know why I did the pitter-patter. I'm your host, Nick Hall. Welcome back to the Nick Hall Comedy Podcast, joined as always by...
Josh Griffey.
Hey, big week. I just like leading off with that. It's fun. We got new Kent out. Another pitching part 2, curveballs.
Pussy-ass curveballs.
Yep. Hope you guys liked that.
Somewhere Greg Maddux just wants to fist fight you.
He lived on like 86-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Greg Maddux is like, what is this? The heat you speak of.
He's unreal. I'm not going to talk shit about Greg Maddux. Guy's a Hall of Famer. He's great. He's great. I could probably hit him. No, I couldn't. No, so yeah, we here we are. Back at the pod. We got some stuff to talk about today. First thing I got an email about
sponsorships, baby.
30 minutes ago. So occasionally we'll get these emails and it'll be like somebody being like, can you use our product or whatever in a video? And usually they at least have they're somewhat, they make sense.
They're aware of
like
what
it'll be like a baseball bat or a baseball glove or something sports related. Mm-hmm. I got one today and it was from bodybuilder.com.
Yeah. And
they wanted us to make a fitness related video featuring their bodybuilder products. And I think you said it must have been because of that Antonio Brown video we did.
I'm just saying,
right? I finally took my shirt off.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm like a Matlock here for those of us who are old, right? But I'm just saying, last week we released the first ever shirtless Kent Murphy. This week bodybuilder.com hits us up. I think that equals, right? The equation is shirtless, bodybuilder.com, you're a unit.
I'm not surprised.
You're a total unit.
Like the knee jerk was like, no, I'm not going to respond to that. But now I'm like, I kind of want to respond to it.
Oh, I'll fist fight you.
Yeah, and just make
if there was ever a video that I was like 100%, we fight sometimes, like we have to do this. No, we can't do it. It's too not cool for today. We have to do a Kent Murphy bodybuilding product.
And I think, it's like, we got to get the money up front because once they see what we've done, they're going to be like, no.
Once they see us attempt an exercise.
This isn't what we had in mind. Well,
exercise is to us what the heat is to Greg Maddux.
Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for a potential Kent Murphy bodybuilding video.
That's right.
I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm going to reply to these guys.
Yeah, we're going to have to Google exercise.
And I'm just going to play it. I'm going to play it straight.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, yeah, I think that's right in our wheelhouse. I'm glad you guys reached out.
Hopefully they don't see this pod and we're spoiling our whole
because clearly whoever sent it has never seen our videos. They're compiling a list of YouTubers,
popular YouTubers.
Yeah, they have like a lot of subscribers and they're just sending these emails out and seeing what they get back. So I'm just gonna play it straight.
Or they have seen that one video over and over and over again.
Look at him curling that bat.
Oh my God, look at the way the water drips down that shape.
Woo! Oh, baby.
That reminds me, whoever the commenter was that said that Kent Murphy has the same body build as the Grinch, that's an A+.
Maybe we just go out to Venice Beach and take Kent Murphy out to the fucking weightlifting area at Venice Beach.
Oh, I went out there once when I was still pull-ups. Like working out a lot. And I was like kind of buff, not a lot, but I was like, I want to go lift on Venice Beach. And it's one of those I walked out and it's just this hardcore like it like was American History X, like not welcome. That's why I just looked at those meatheads. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. No. Speaking of meatheads,
right?
Tim Tebow. What a guy! What a guy this guy is.
Yeah. I've hated Tim Tebow for so long because he kind of flies against my my anti-religion thing, right? Yeah. As you can see, my Lord and Savior right here, Black Phillip. Me and Black Phillip have never liked Tim Tebow. And then he threw that fucking bomb on the Steelers in OT.
Oh, yeah.
The quarterback who couldn't throw defeated us.
I'll tell you when I stopped.
I hate him, and this one's right in my wheelhouse.
When I stopped liking Tim Tebow was when he gave that stupid fucking speech. In college, he's like, and we've lost 2 games, and we're not gonna lose anymore. And I promise you right now, America, we're gonna work harder than anyone. And it's just like, it's like this whiny, it sounds like a 5th grader giving this whiny fucking crybaby speech, and then they like put it on a plaque and put it outside of the stadium. Like, it's one of the greatest.
They even added.
It's one of the best speeches ever. And it's like, no, it's not.
No, you're like, it's a speech from a guy who grew up as a okay off white kid who never actually took an L his whole life.
Yeah.
Right. Mom and dad were there. He went to church. Like, Tim Tebow wasn't taking L's in the streets before that.
God, no. No. So anyway, Tebow goes on
First Take with Max and Stephen A.
And just goes on this tirade against college athletes being paid.
Right. So California is passing a law they're calling the Fair Play Act. And this law essentially states that their student athletes or college athletes can cash in on their own likeness rights and endorsement deals, right? So if Zion had played at USC, he could have had his Nike deal last year.
Yeah.
Seems pretty fucking obvious to me,
Seems
right?
fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, it's in their fair play, right?
Yeah.
This is Tebow, though. He's going in of, this is going to hurt the passion and turn this into the NFL, right? Where everyone's just out for them and out for their pay.
It's going to change the realness of the game. Is what
realness.
Yeah. The America's favorite sport, I believe, as he put it, college football.
Yeah. What are your feelings on Mr. Tebow's opinion?
He's an idiot. Like, his argument was that when he was in college, he had the third best selling jersey behind Kobe and LeBron. And he was like
showing off his Christian humility.
Absolutely, yeah. And before God, he presented the facts about his third.
He was like, Kobe, LeBron, Jesus Christ, me.
And he was like, I didn't take a dime of that, and I don't think anybody should. Okay, first of all, like, that's flawed on two levels.
Right.
Just because you didn't take a dime and you feel good about that,
right,
that's fine. But that doesn't mean everybody should feel that same way. So you're wrong right there. Right. Second of all, you're a fucking idiot for not taking any money for that. Yeah. Because a bunch of motherfuckers made a whole lot of money off of you. And you didn't get a dime.
Well, this is the classic Tim Tebow. Well, this is what, because everyone online was kind of roasting him. And I was like, guys, passionately defending a position that has no evidence or logic behind it is kind of the entire Tim Tebow brand, right? I was like, here's an interesting quandary for Mr. Tebow. What if you had taken the jersey money, and then when you went on your yearly mission trip that you have to advertise the fuck out of how good you are, you're like, hey, here's $1 million in jersey sale revenue that I don't need, but you guys can get some clean water, some medicine, some food. Seems like a pretty good fucking use instead of some other fucking rich guys who run the NCAA
buying another car. That's all they're doing. Buying a bigger house.
Yeah. So Tebow's, I just played for the game. I don't buy it, because that's the thing. The other thing is Tebow might not have needed it. A lot of these college athletes need that money.
Well, that's his other thing. Is like, I played football for the passion of the game. Like, well, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Because you failed as a quarterback in the NFL, and you were giving plenty of options to switch positions because he was a great athlete.
Yeah.
And he refused to, because he didn't want to play another position besides quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, if your passion's that deep for the game, you'll do whatever it takes to stay on the field.
Yeah, what if you were just like a fullback or tight end helping other players be great?
He'd probably still be in the lead.
Yeah.
In the league. But now he's just eating up some roster spot in AA that some actual legitimate prospect could be having right now.
So not only did he want to play for the love of the game and help a team, like the Patriots love that guy. Like, here's just a guy who can like block really well.
Belichick would have used him all day.
Can use him in like all kinds of weird plays, right? He would be in the league.
Yeah, he's
but that's the thing. It's not glorifying him enough, right?
Correct.
Mr. Humility, Tim Tebow. And then again, the baseball thing, there's some guy who's not getting to play in there because he can sell tickets.
Because he's on a circus tour.
Yeah, even though he's not going to ever be a pro baseball player that's any good.
Yeah.
So it's his whole line of thinking is such fucking horseshit on 8 million levels.
Yeah.
It's baffling, because I was reading some tweets, and some of these guys that were college athletes laid it out. Because this is my dad's argument, right? Because I'm always like, dude, they should fucking pay these athletes. And again, I know it's hard because some schools don't have money, and that's what everyone always says. Like, some schools have less. Well, you know what? Bucknell or whatever, you know, Bowling Green University, they're still going to suck in this system. They're still going to suck after. Like, they're just participating, right? They're college. You know, they should be there mostly for learning, but, you know, they get to have sports. That's fine. I mean, Alabama's already crushing everyone. You think, like, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's it. Alabama's going to stop being good because of endorsement deals? Yeah. I mean, this is the other thing, too. I do get the argument that more players are probably going to want to play somewhere where they can cash in. Absolutely. But how many college football players and basketball players could honestly cash in? Are we talking like 10 guys could get like a big deal?
Maybe.
Zion for sure would have had a massive shoe deal last year.
Sure.
He would have had all kinds. I mean, he would have been making $100 million last year, probably.
Absolutely.
In endorsements, right? Name me 2 college football players that would have done that.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
There's
Lawrence,
probably some that can make some money. Yeah.
He can do Head and Shoulders and whatever. And like, there's a couple, but there's not that many guys that are going to actually be able to abuse this system.
And like half the people that are mad about it are like, or the NCAA, I should say, is like, I feel like they feel like somebody's asking them to shell out money, but they're like, nobody's asking the NCAA to fucking pay these guys. It's just, if some company wants to swoop in and give them, like, if Nike wants to give Zion $30 million, why can't they do that? You know what I mean? Why can't he collect on that?
Well, also why that this is kind of a stupid argument, right? It reminds me of like the healthcare debates we're having, because like I'm diabetic, right? So I was just telling you I'm having all these. I want to get new medicines. My doctor's like, you need this. That shit's going to cost you like $1,200 a month, right? Yeah. And so now we're battling insurance on why is this not covered? It's like I don't need a nose job for the pod, right? I need to like not die.
It wouldn't hurt though.
Yeah, I mean it'd be fine. Like if insurance wanted to shell out, like I'm totally pro like fixing this thing up. Yeah, just burn it down, build it up, man.
I could use some work.
Yeah, for sure. I'm cool. But it's one of those we keep talking about. Well, like, oh, we just need better insurance or lower. You're like, no, because these are fucking drug cartels that are working together to fuck us, right? My whole thing is I'm like, guys, I don't expect you to help me, the patient, but I'm like, this cartel sells insulin. This cartel takes my money. You guys should run your schemes overlapping. Yeah. What this does for the NCAA is says, hey, we'll give you cover to not fix your broken system where you're just using and abusing these kids for not enough value based on how many of them actually graduate and this and that.
Right.
And the harm that they could run. Versus the money that they could be making if you had to pay them, right?
Right.
So you don't have to fix any of your kind of broken system, and the kids that are good enough will still get paid, and we'll just give you cover. Because then the argument about paying athletes kind of dies.
Yeah.
Well, but then the rest of us are just like, well, if you were good enough, make likeness rights and this and that, right?
Right.
So it's the best system for the NCAA for them to be out there and have their warriors fighting against it. Right. It's so dumb. Someone else is fixing it for you.
The NCAA is one of the most corrupt fucking organizations. It's damn near the Catholic Church as far as as far as corruption. I mean,
we saw. Yeah, I mean,
for the exploitation of like
Penn State is the Vatican.
It's incredible, like the exploitation that they're allowed to do on their essentially their employees, like the player,
Well, the arguments
they go
are
and collect
so
all this
asinine.
fucking money from these guys, and they just absolutely do nothing for
Well, just look at the revenues of like the NCAA tournament. An average college football game has insane rate. It's ridiculous, right? Yeah. And it's all old guys like my dad. Again, we talked about the Uncle Ricos last week. Like, well, back in my day, I would have been glad to play for Notre Dame. I'm like, yeah, I bet you would, but you fucking sucked, and you didn't get to.
Yeah,
like it's a weird thing because it's also these guys that are like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, hard work, take care of yourself. All right, well, they have a skill that's worth a lot of fucking money.
Well, that's the thing.
And they're artificially being told that they can't make money.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, old guy, where do you want this to, how do you want this to work? Because none of these things are adding up in the real world.
Well, it's like, it's easy for Tim Tebow to say that he didn't want that money because he was a well-off fucking white kid from the fucking suburbs.
Right.
But there's
also, this is the question I asked you. How much of Tim Tebow's millions of dollars is he giving away every year? Does Tim Tebow live next door to me?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is he in some kind
I
of
doubt he's living modestly.
Yeah, I'm assuming. So he's on the Joel Osteen plan. I'll take all the money and still tell you how to live the humble, poor Christian life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But it's like, there's a lot of guys that are out there and they're supporting like their mother and their brothers and sisters and shit like that.
Some of these guys are fathers already.
And they're not allowed to get jobs even.
No.
And when they're playing college. So like, yeah, that's great that their school's getting paid for, but like a lot of these guys, that's why they go and take this money from boosters.
Right.
I get that it's frowned upon, but like they don't have it. A lot of them don't have a fucking choice.
Right.
And a lot of them could be making money.
But that's the weird
thing,
right?
But they can't go pro for 3 years anyway. So like they're stuck. Like
so
they can't make money
them.
for 3 years of their life.
Yeah, we
some
force them.
Stupid ancient rule by the NCAA. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so you can't monetize your hard work and system, right? Which is the entire point of this country.
Right.
You work hard and become good enough at something, you can get paid. That's capitalism.
Yeah. Hey, go out there and ruin your body so that...
Yeah, so now the NCAA is like,
I want to add a wing to my house.
Yeah. I need another swimming pool even though I'm 86. Like you need a swimming pool this big when you're 86 so you can do those water weights. You're not doing laps. You know what I mean? So we're forcing them into a system where they run the risk. A lot of them already have, because we always call them kids, but some of them have kids. They have a mom who's sick. Like, we all have life stuff.
Yeah.
If you have a skill where imagine someone like when I got out of high school and I'm like, hey, I have this idea for a baller ass store. It's called a porn shop. Where people can come and look at titties, and it's gonna make money. And someone's like, holy shit, that's a great idea. You're going to make a lot of money. Are you the first one to think of that? And I'm like, yes, I am. They're like, wait 3 years and we'll make all the money for 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, we'll run it for you for 3 years while you do all the work of your brilliant titty store idea. It's insane.
Well, I read
it's fucking insane.
Story the other day. The NCAA, this kid, I can't remember what school he went to, but it was somewhere on the East Coast. But his mother had a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And so he transferred schools to be closer to his mother because he was the one that was taking her to the fucking hospital visits.
Yeah.
And there's actually like a rule, like you don't have to lose eligibility if you're doing it for medical hardship. And the NCAA rejected his eligibility. Made him sit out here because they said they didn't believe that his mother's illness was that serious. And he's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, why are they going out of their way
it's so sad
to
you
block
can just
shit
laugh.
like that? Like, it's stupid.
But how could someone hear that sentence you just said and be like, this is a good fight to pick?
And it wasn't like he was going from, like, some small school to Alabama or something where it was like
Even
some
if he
gratuitous
was.
switch. Yeah, even if he was, but
He's
he was
one
like
guy.
He was making it was like a school that's not going to win. He was just wanting to play fucking football.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He wanted to actually be Tebow and play for the passion while dealing with terrible lifestyle. It's
always like no,
but I can't figure out any of the arguments, right? Because the other argument is, well, they're getting paid a lot. They're getting a college degree. Well, guess what? I have a college degree. That hasn't made me a millionaire. You know, I know a lot of people that have college degrees that aren't balling the fuck out and making the kind of money some of these kids could make. So to me, it's all the arguments are just, it's just like we have so many of these things where this is how it's always been done, so we have to protect this system.
Right.
And it's, again, Tim Tebow's the worst spokesman because his entire brand is, I'm going to just cover as passionately as possible for something that is somewhat indefensible in the face of facts, right?
Right.
So him being the one is extra fucking frustrating, right?
Yeah, it is.
Now, if there was a guy who was like, you know what, I was actually homeless and, you know, my mom needed help and this and that, but I did want to play for passion and I still rep the alma mater. I'd listen to that guy.
I'd still think it was wrong, but
you're still making a ton of bad decisions, but like at least that's true. Like Tim Tebow just being like, I was always cool, man. I rode to college in a nice car. Like it's fine. Fuck you guys. It's insane.
I was just waiting for him to like transition from that to me like, and another thing about women's rights. It's like, well, yeah, keep it rolling, Tebow.
What are
like,
other issues
this
that
ought to
we
be
don't?
Fucking riveting.
He's like, I'm with Bill Maher. We should fat shame. You know what I mean? Like, give us more opinions of yours that we don't want. That's the thing. I'm like, Tim Tebow, what do you even do anymore? Like, get out of here.
Well, it's like that. You know that age.
He's just on there, so everyone's wife who watches game days like, well, this is pretty bad.
It's like that age-old question. Is like, you know, like if you could go have a beer with anybody famous, who would it be? And like everybody picks like their hero. Like, no, I want to take Tim Tebow out and just get him hammered and just listen to him talk for like 3 hours, and so I can just sit there and be like, "You're fucking stupid."
Yeah,
I just want to poke at him for like.
Because then you're like, "Yeah,
you're fucking stupid, man."
Look at this accomplished Adonis,
and then I'm
just gonna make myself feel better.
And then I'll throw him a curveball and watch him just struggle, like for days.
Oh, he couldn't hit Ken Murphy's fastball or curveball for sure.
He couldn't hit anybody's curveball.
No,
he couldn't hit my 5-year-old nephew's curveball.
But it's also like Tim.
But he's
Tebow,
in Double-A.
Yeah, but the Tim Tebow thing, I think. My other thought on it makes me mad, is like Tim Tebow's whole thing is like, I'm the nicest guy. Like, this is the funny
He's
thing.
A fraud, man.
I know, but he kind of skated on the whole, like, you remember when he used to kneel at the start of football games, but it was for God, so it was fine.
So it was good.
Instead of like police brutality.
God, country, family, if you... Yeah. Uh-huh.
What is different about Tim Tebow that people were okay with? Oh, okay, never mind. We won't get into that. But I was like, this guy fucking just kind of skates, right? He's got this Patrick Bateman-like narcissism.
He is, yeah.
And it's the whole point of Christianity as I was raised in it, because my Nana was a stay-at-home psychic. Right. So she would just like fucking chain smoke. Like as soon as she finished a cool, straight to another one. She'd read tarot cards and had her crystals out and shit. And, did energy, and people would call her and she'd be like, all right, let me read the cards. And like we'd be watching Star Wars while she's doing this. And my mom used to get freaked out. She's like, this is like Satan worshiping. And like she really didn't like it, but my Nana was a Christian, right? And she explained it to us. She's like, I don't have to go to church. I don't have to do any of that shit. Like I just talk to the guy, right? Like I try to lead a good life and talk to him and not be a piece of shit to people. That's how I think of it, right? And the whole point of it is, like, just don't be cruel to people. Like, there are people who are having a hard time or are less thans, you know, and, like, what they have. Yeah. You should do your best to help them, right?
For the most part, everybody's...
That's the fucking point. Yeah,
for the most part, everybody's trying their best.
Right. And so this is a system where people who need
don't be a dickhead.
Who have worked hard, right? And this is the other thing. It's not something that you can just get. Like, you have to be really hard worker and exceptional to get this, right? for a guy like Tim Tebow to just say arbitrarily no because he didn't have it just reeks of cruelty.
Yeah.
And that bothers me.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason
I
other
couldn't agree
than
more. Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't fucking... It reminds me of like the whole thing when Commissar Bernie was like, I'm going to erase student loan debt or whatever.
Yeah.
Him and Warren are like, we're going to do that. And everyone's like, what the fuck? I paid my loans. And I'm like, yeah, you did something that you got fucking chiseled and made a bad choice, right? A lot of us did.
Yeah.
I'm still paying my student loans.
Yeah.
And it's like, so we just want to keep punishing people with the same mistake that we know sucks. We know that it's not a good system and you can't bankrupt your way out.
Yeah.
But hey, we got fucked, so you're getting fucked too. It's just a weird
We're all taking a bite of the shit sandwich, man.
Well, it's just like you came out with something new and better, and people are like, no, you have to have the shitty thing that I had. It doesn't make any sense. The whole argument against athletes getting paid, I honestly can't think of one. The big one that everyone goes to, right? Because the whole thing about, well, they're supposed to be academic learning institutions first. Well, that's horseshit. Let's not even fucking play that game.
Right.
Do you think it could lopside competitive balance?
Maybe, but...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's how it works. I mean, it's just...
Also, it's like, haven't there only been like 3 teams that are going to win the championship for like 10 years now?
Yeah, but if they're just getting sponsorship money, like, you can... It's not... You don't have to go to one school to be able to get that.
Right.
Now, if they only do it in California... Yeah, but if the rest... Like, if everybody else follows suit, then the playing field will still be the same, I think. The same players will still go to the same schools.
Right.
They'll just be able to wear their fucking Nikes and get a paycheck every month for it.
Well, my
as
thing,
they
too,
should.
in football, it's not going to matter nearly as much, right? Like, who's the one athlete that can just guarantee you a championship in college football? None.
Yeah.
Right?
mean,
like, all the teams that win, like LSU, or not LSU, Clemson, I mean, and Alabama, they're, like, stacked. They'll have, like, 13 first-rounders. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have a ton of talent. And even in college basketball, right? Duke had Zion and 2 other guys that were, like, top 5 All-Americans, and they didn't win.
Top 3 recruits in the country.
They didn't win. Right? So let's say Zion had chosen UCLA. Mm-hmm. They're not guaranteed going to win.
No.
So I don't... All the arguments...
Not unless they get the Ball brothers back.
Right.
It's their only chance, really.
LaMelo! Did you see that big fucking tat? I was just like, you're so bad. That whole family... And then they did... I guess they have a Facebook show. Because I don't know if you saw that.
I've not seen it, but I know
where,
they have it. Yeah.
LeVar, the dad, this week, because Melo came out... Or Lonzo came out and was like, yeah, those shoes I had
shoes were
sucked.
pieces of shit.
I had to wear like 4 a game, and like they kind of sucked, and people were buying them and couldn't get them, and whatever. It was like bad, right?
It was a fraud.
Well, I guess they've been butting heads now since all this, and he's kind of like growing away from his dad. Good for him.
Smart.
And so on the show, his dad called him damaged goods. Essentially, like he's not good enough for the Big Baller brand anymore. And I was like, dude, I like the dad, right? LeVar, because I'm like, he's such a fucking wild, like, loose cannon.
He's an idiot.
But the problem is, I'm like, that guy there, that's the one you're trying to have drag your 2 useless sons into the league.
He actually thought Big Baller Brand was a good name for a company. Like that it didn't sound like a gimmick. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, he's also like, I have a company called Big Baller Brand, but you only see me in, like, baggy workout clothes. That does not say baller to me.
No.
I mean, like maybe like LA Fitness Baller, like,
but
he should be wearing like.
He's very much like
clothes.
Tim Tebow on maybe like a different side of the fence, but like, but he's that dude that's like so full of shit that he believes his own shit, and like that's where Tebow he's so fucking ingrained in this bullshit, that he actually believes himself.
Yeah,
but
well,
like somewhere in there, he knows that he's wrong. He knows that he's full of shit, but he still believes it.
His whole
That's
thing,
dangerous.
when they got traded to the Pelicans, he's like, this is what I wanted all along. This is my master plan.
No, I'm talking about the dad.
No, that's what I'm saying. That was the dad. He's like, we did it. We fucking did it. We don't want to play with LeBron. How's that going to get us a title? It's like, what?
The greatest player in the NBA.
Yeah, right? Like, the title guy, right? The guy who gets to all the games. If he, just doesn't win, he's still there.
How's that going to give me a title with the guy that's been to the last 9 fucking championships or whatever it was?
No, much better to play in Nolans.
Sure.
But I think he's actually like a mental case. I think he fully does believe, and I don't think he has to lie to himself. Tebow, I think, is this guy who, again, never had to face enough hardships. Seems like he had a pretty easy, and he's a hard worker. Like, you just look at the guy, and guy who looks like that, you're like, he's putting in work.
You don't get that good at something without putting in work, for sure.
And that's fine.
All day, yeah.
But he's just a guy who, it was easy enough for him, and he was always a golden boy and groomed and, raised in this church family, and now he's this kind of narcissistic look at this, and like the fact that he can't realize that he is a walking contradiction to his
Right.
own belief system.
Well, it's like
insane.
I got here this way, so it must be the right way for
Right.
everybody. Like that's his
Right.
mindset. He
Well, no.
doesn't think outside of himself.
And I
at
also think
all.
he has the weird thing, like, well, of course God wanted me to make it. And I'm like, well, God could have taught you to have a shorter release then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, but the other flip side of that is like, so wait, so God wants these other people to suffer?
That's
like what the fuck?
So yeah, we got 30 wars going on, people dying all over. But yeah, God's stopping every Saturday and be like, wait a minute, Tebow's got a game.
God's like, oh
let me
no,
get on
another
this.
another
Like, it's
Syrian kid washed up on a beach dead.
Such an ignorant thought. In my
How's Tebow doing in the Heisman race? Jesus.
Hold on. Yeah, I know about the tsunami. Hold on. It's 3rd and goal.
That's something
Yeah, like-
we would talk a lot about if you could fix sports in general. If all athletes could stop saying, like, I want to thank God for this game. If there is a God, there's no chance he can care about a game. It's impossible, right?
Impossible.
Right? Because I know they're like, well, he cares about all things at once. So I'm like, well, that's nonsense. Like, imagine someone who has more than one kid. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's crazy. Stop with the, God gave me the ability to get that extra 10 yards. God really cared about my yak tonight. Like, no,
It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Yeah, let these fucking kids get paid, man.
Speaking of nonsense in the sky.
Yeah! Woo! I'm pumped for this.
Conspiracy alert! I'm telling you, we got it. Like, we're just going to do a conspiracy podcast one of these days.
I'm saying we
can't
should
wait.
just do another podcast that's our conspiracies.
So the dude from Blink-182, Tom DeLonge, founded this company that, like, basically just, like, does research on extraterrestrial activity, UFOs, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they released those videos, the Navy pilot videos.
Yeah.
And the Navy came out and were like, fuck, those are real. Like, how the fuck did you get
Yeah.
those?
Well, they're real UFOs, but they're not saying what that means.
Right.
This is like the old, it's a weather
But
balloon.
they confirmed that the videos weren't a hoax, that they were, in fact, real
They're
videos.
real naval videos.
Taken by the Navy pilots.
Well,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the funny thing. We could be heading to a Supreme Court case
Mm-hmm.
where it's the United States Navy versus guy from Blink-182 for the truth of life in the universe. Like, imagine the world.
I love it. Like, did you see the aliens? I didn't see shit.
I watched the videos and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're crazy. I watched them too.
I watch a lot of those UFO
I actually
videos.
saw those videos a while ago, and
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was from his, like, project or whatever.
Last I heard, someone was telling me he was like, he's like schizophrenic and shit. And like, I was like, so he's got like a sad thing. Like, he's just going to be gone now.
Yeah.
And now you're like, dude, he's fucking cracking cases?
Yeah, well, that's what's crazy, because, like, I heard a radio interview with, I think it was Darren Dalton, the old Phillies player.
Right.
Like, it was a few years ago. But he was talking about, like, aliens visiting him in his backyard and shit. And it was like some radio show, and so they were just lobbing him up, like, go on, Darren.
Yeah.
What did the aliens say? And they're just like, and he's just not realizing that they're just patronizing his ass, and he's
Like, finally,
like,
I've got the public ear.
maybe these guys aren't fucking crazy. Maybe this stuff's you know what I mean?
This
Ace
is-
from Ace Frehley from he's same
Dude.
thing. Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd was just on Joe Rogan, and
he's
you're
way
like,
into that shit.
You're like, are we just going to talk about your? Oh no, like we're going all in.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he's hardcore.
Oh
into
yeah.
it. I don't know, man. I mean, I heard a guy, this mathematician. He's like some kind of astrophysicist with a mathematician, right? And he was like,
Okay.
statistically
Smart.
speaking, the universe, like what stuff I will never comprehend. Right? I can't even say the words of his
Yeah.
titles right. But the universe is so infinitely large that even if we assume that there's life,
Right.
the chances of us ever having contacted it are essentially none.
Almost none. Yeah.
Right? And then he was like, there is this chance that we are just this insanely unusual series of events that created life, and maybe we are the only one. I was like, whoa, that's crazy, man.
Whoa.
But then I see stuff and I was like, yeah, like I like to believe, that's why I like ancient alien theory.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The ancient astronaut theory, which is it's us from the future coming back.
Could be.
You know what I mean?
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense
Because, like,
to
time
me.
is not linear. It was like the whole
Dude, we're doing True
the whole
Detective.
thing, man.
Time's a flat circle, bro.
It's a flat circle.
Yeah, it's all happening at
No,
once.
but there's infinite timelines that can exist side by side,
Maybe.
but at different points. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? Yeah.
But this is like
I don't understand what I just said. I'm just
No.
regurgitating some things that I've heard before, and they only sort of make sense
I forget
to me.
what the theory I was just reading a thing on, right? Because again, I always read this stuff, but I don't know what it is. But somehow particles can exist like across light years, but it's the same particle existing in two separate places at the exact same time, connected and acting as one.
Right.
And you're like, all right, well, if we know how the fuck that happens, like, why couldn't there be a spaceship somewhere?
Well, yeah, like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I read a thing like the other day, and it was like the way that like matter interacts with each other, like I don't fucking atoms or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it was like basically if you punch your hand on a wooden table,
Right.
there's a 1 in so many trillion chance that the molecules or the atoms or whatever wouldn't meet, and your hand would just go through the table and back up.
What the fuck?
Without shadow. Like, it's a possibility. It's a physical possibility.
Right.
That could happen. It's just like, and like I'm reading this and I don't understand it. But
like,
by the end of it, I'm like, that's fucking wild. And I don't know why that's wild.
Well, I think the thing is, right, is that, and this is why I get back to guys like Tim Tebow, right?
Right.
The worst guy to be in the universe is, I am certain, without a doubt, that something is true all the way.
All the way.
And you're like, yeah, because this is the thing. Like, I love the idea now that scientists essentially are, because we used to think they're like, oh, they're guys with the answer. You're like, no, scientists just ask the coolest questions.
Right.
Right? Like, that's all they are. A scientist, and this is the thing I hate now, because everyone's like, oh, fuck scientists and experts, like fake news, whatever, if they don't like it.
Right.
Right? Because they're like, well, Jesus wouldn't make a table I could punch through on a 1 in a trillion chance. It's like, well, you know, all their job is just to say if things are bullshit or not and ask the weirdest questions. Like, but that's what I mean. We don't know what any of this fucking stuff is.
No.
We don't know what, and this gets back to my point, man. We don't know anything. What if aliens came down tomorrow? Would we still give a fuck if a college athlete got an endorsement deal?
They're already here.
You think they're here?
I think they're already here.
Oh, dude, are you doing my uncle's conspiracy?
Oh, well, no, I'm not going that. No.
The Down syndrome
I'm not
sleeper
going
agents?
that deep, but I just they're here. They're with
We've been seeded.
The governments of the world are already familiar with them.
Oh,
they're walking among us.
Well, no, that's one of the theories, is that because I was reading this book, Sapiens, right? And it's like crazy history of the world, right?
Sure.
And like, why did we, this species, right? There were several humanoid species at the time, right? Neanderthal and all this. Mm-hmm. Why were we the ones? We were kind of weak and small and not super tough. We were the ones. And it was because of this gift of language. And a lot of people think that the aliens might have come down and altered the DNA or mixed their DNA with this one little weaker subspecies. And that's what, because our brains aren't even that much larger.
But did they do the weaker subspecies so that they could one day come back and just dominate it?
Maybe.
And wipe them out?
Maybe.
What if that's the plan, dude? Because what if they came and they were like, they saw the Neanderthals and they were like, fuck, they're huge.
Yeah, those guys are fucking jacked. But then
so they just bred the weaker ones. And then
then they come back and they're like, who's that fucking dude from Game of Thrones? Jesus Christ, we picked raw.
The mountain? What the fuck have we done?
No, I mean, I don't know. What, like, this is the whole thing. What is the point of any of
like,
it?
We should
could just
only
be a cosmic fucking
just in
ant
case.
farm.
Yeah, I agree. Just in case, we should only broadcast like 1980s and 90s professional wrestling into the cosmos. Just in case they're picking up that feed.
Like, we
and they're
can't
like,
go to
is
Earth.
this what we've done?
They have an Ultimate Warrior.
Hogan going into Hulkamania, just like freaking out. Yeah.
They're like little octopus things. They're like, we could never survive a leg drop.
I think it's our smartest. Defense.
No, well, this is
against them coming back.
You have all these, but then like some people are like, all right, so we've been seeded, and that's why our brains grew exponentially in power, is because there was this thing that altered us, right?
Okay.
This gets back to the pyramids are all, geosynchronous locators, and oh, look at this runway for a spaceship, like all that kind of crazy shit. But then there's the other faction now that's like, none of it's real, man. It's all a simulation. Like the Elon Musk camp that's like, oh, we're just living in a video game.
We're just riding on the back of a turtle floating through space, man. Yeah.
And we're all just sitting here like, Tim Tebow sucks! That's what I love about our show the most, is that we're in this universe of infinite possibilities and unbelievable wonder.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just like, you know what? Fuck Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
but he's even worse. At least he's not even using his logic to think. All right, if there was an alien invasion tomorrow, and not even an invasion, right? Let's do like the Twilight Zone, where the aliens just show up and they're like, hey, what's up? We're here. We're your neighbors.
Yeah.
What does your next day look like?
Oh, man. Oh, it'd be so much fun. I don't know. Man, that's fun. I think I'd run to the front line.
Oh, no. Mine is just drug and orgy. Like, because this is the thing.
Well, okay, so you're treating it like the end of the world.
Well, but it is the end of our... Like, this is the...
It's the end of the world as we know it, but maybe they're not here to kill us.
Right?
Right.
Imagine that this happens tomorrow, right? And an alien comes down on a fucking spaceship, and they're like, we're from this planet, God knows how far away. We can bend the fabric of space and time, and we were able to travel here in a, humanoid lifespan, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all of that fucking church shit disappears. No one can then go to church Sunday and be like, I will not have sex until I'm married.
This was his plan.
It's all gone. Yeah, so God also made those people way the fuck over there, but they have tentacles. Are they in his image? Like, all that would disappear.
Right.
Like, imagine working...
Yeah, it would change the foundation of, everything.
Imagine working in the worst office of all time. You're like, I'm a guy who calls old people and tries to bilk an extra $5 of insurance from them a month. That job doesn't exist anymore.
No more.
Now you're just like, well, what the fuck are we doing? I think, honestly, then we get back to this... There's this great book I read years ago. It's called Childhood's End, right?
Yeah.
And so, essentially, these giant ships appear all over Earth.
Right.
And they don't do anything. So we're just down here freaking the fuck out. And of course, like, how do we fucking blow them up? But we can't, right? All our technology's useless, whatever. And this guy comes down, and his name is Corellin. And he's just, the voice. You can only hear his voice. And he's like, hey, man, we're here to help. We're here to, help you guys out. We can solve all these problems. And we're all like, fuck you, we don't trust you. So he picks us one farmer who he's going to communicate from Kansas.
Right.
And he's like our go-between between them and the government. They're like, well, why'd he pick you? And we're just all insane, right? We can't figure it out. Well, come to find out, these guys do make us better.
Yeah.
Right? There's no hunger. No one really has to have jobs anymore. Everything's kind of like this utopian society. Well, next thing you know, the kids start developing these superpowers. And in the end, the kids all kind of form this perfect thing where they're like a new super species and the planet blows up. But that's 100 years down the road. And you're like, good deal.
Here's my question.
Good deal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But that's what I mean. If aliens arrive tomorrow, all of these things we worry about, why would I ever mow my lawn again? Think about go through your week, right?
I'd just start robbing banks, and I'd be like,
I wouldn't even rob
stop.
banks.
No, I'd be like, stop fighting. The aliens are here. He's like, you don't care about them. Just give me the money.
Well, seriously, are we going to argue about politics?
I'm under arrest. Okay.
What did Trump do? Not arrive in a spaceship? I don't give a fuck.
Fuck him.
Fuck him forever. Yeah.
No. Okay. So the alien, say the alien ship lands right outside your door, and they're peaceful and they're nice.
Yeah.
And the dude's telling you about his planet, right? And he's like, I can take you there.
Yeah.
But we can't come back.
Perfect.
Would you go?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
I'd be like, can I bring my books? I don't want some of my comics and treasures.
You wouldn't be able to tell anybody about it. It'd just be you. So it'd be
By
for
the
your
way,
own fulfillment that you get to see this other world.
This is my daydream
Before you die.
Constantly is that the TARDIS from Doctor Who arrives and he's like, Josh, you're my new companion. We have to go on an adventure across space and time. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'd jump into Rick and Morty all day. Same thing.
In an ideal world, I'd be like, hey, can my wife and kids will be the 4 companions and my dog Bear? It'll be cool. That's the dream. But yeah, if you told me, because I've been on Earth for 35 years, right? I feel like I get it. It's we have this beautiful...
I've seen enough.
But no, this is my theory on the world, right? We have this world that's full of wonders, but all we want to do is watch those wonders through a TV screen and fight about things that don't matter and not listen to each other and build artificial things to fight about, right? Whether it's money's not something that's real. We make it real with our own minds, right? Borders. Why do we have countries at all? I don't buy into any of this shit.
Okay, John Lennon.
You can't just keep walking? No, but that's what I mean. I'm one of those
Imagine.
guys. I'm just for we're all the same thing. Why are we getting in each other's way
I get it.
all the time?
Yeah.
Right? This whole we have a state and you have a state and these two old fucking cranky bitches are arguing, so we're gonna blow each other up and kill teenagers.
I don't get that too. It's
why?
I got pride for my country, and it's why do you feel like you're so much better because you live here and this guy lives 20 miles south of you? And it just happens to be Mexico. You know what I mean? Why
your sperm landed here? You had nothing to do with that.
What is that? What is there to be prideful about that? You know?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I don't. I just don't.
I'm all for
that. My whole thing is that all we do is build reasons to fight each other and disagree.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm on Earth. I get it, man. It's been a cool experience. I've seen all the horror movies.
What if you
read all the comics? I'm cool.
And it was just they were just 200 years past us, and it was just all way more Walmarts and fuck it.
It might be.
It was idiocracy basically. The guy's this is why we're trying to come over to your planet because ours just ours sucks so bad. You're God damn it.
Theirs is actually. But wouldn't you want to? I mean, as a huge fan of Twilight Zone, that would be the ultimate ending for me. Right.
It's this big disappointment.
Yeah, but this is the Rob Reiner quote from Princess Bride, right? Which is hey kid, all life is suffering. Anyone who tells you different is trying to sell you something.
Right.
So, I feel like I get it, Earth. If I had a chance to see, right, it could be a small shot. Like, what percentage are we talking? Like, let's say 5% that it's this futuristic, awesome utopia. 50% it's some kind of, like, factory where I'm going to be like a Big Mac, right? Like an alien Big Mac. Another 50% is like I'm sold into like a zoo.
Yeah.
And you're like, is that much worse than what we're
so
doing
bad?
here? Yeah. Like, I mean, that feels exact like
3 free meals a day.
The
Fuck
NSA
yeah.
spying on me when I jerk off on my phone anyways. Like, it's the same thing. We're all in a zoo now.
Right.
No, if the alien showed up at your house and said, hey man, we're peaceful, let's go.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, you're going. Or what if they said, here's the thing.
Like, can I bring my dog?
Right. I would
that
like
cool?
my dog. My dog and my kids and my wife would be cool. And my comics and my horror movie. No, I'm just kidding.
And everything I
need
own.
my Shudder subscription. But what if they were like, explain Earth to me? What can we do to help you guys out?
I feel like, I don't know.
This is a big one, right?
Rewind 4 years and try again.
Right. I would say longer than that. I feel like we've been fucking up for a long time, man. No, that's what
I would go back to, if somebody could tell me about it, I'd go back and make Ron Artest not fight the crowd because the Pacers were going to win the championship that year, and that was like the only time in my life I think I'll ever have the chance to see that. So yeah,
I want to go back and not have Maryland crush IU. I want Tom Brady to not get the Tuck rule call.
Like, I would go back and just sit next to the guy that threw the beer at Ron Artest, and I would just punch him right in the throat real quick and be like, don't fucking do that,
fucking
man.
Roadhouse.
We're really good this year, man.
We could do it. Yeah, I mean, then the aliens are just like, you guys are really into these sports. Is this the most important thing on your planet? And you go, yes, it is.
For me, yes.
This is it.
I have nothing else. I got no place else to go.
Like, you don't want us to make it so you're not all fat diabetics and, like, people can eat. No, I really need Ron Artest to not run into the
That seems like a lot of work for you, man. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. But this is the crazy thing. I laugh at people that are just like, of course there's no Bigfoot. Don't be dumb. And it's like, I know it's dumb, but why would you want to live in a world without a Bigfoot?
I'm so rooting for that, yeah.
Like, why
I
wouldn't
root
you
for all that shit.
Like, what if they
Chupacabras,
found that? That'd be so cool.
It'd be dope.
I'm always for don't take magic out of the world. Like, we know, it's like people are like, if you watch pro wrestling, you're a fucking moron.
No, you're not. It's awesome.
And it's like, do you think that people watch pro wrestling and don't realize that it's kabuki theater?
You and I spent 3 months one time just watching arm wrestling.
It was
it was one of the best 3 months of my life.
I still talk about Game of Arms.
Like, all we did was talk about arm wrestling. All we did was watch arm wrestling shows and documentaries. Didn't accomplish anything else in those 3 months. I have no regrets.
It was perfect.
It was magic.
Don't take magic out of the world, guys. Let there be UFOs and Bigfoot and whatever.
And that's what we're going to end on. Keep the magic alive. Make sure you get on Spotify, iTunes, rate, review.
Leave us those ratings and reviews.
Do it!
And share the iTunes on your socials, guys. That helps us out a ton.
Helps us a bunch. Thank you guys for listening.
Get on KentMurphy.com and buy some fucking shirts, man. We got some good new ones.
We got some new ones coming out and some new hats. Boy, bye.
Bye.